What's up, guys? My name is Nathan and welcome back to the Barefoot Garage. Today we're putting the Suzuki TC100 back together. All right, catch you guys up real quick if you've not been with us. You can follow this project on the Suzuki TC100 playlist right here. But this bike is a 1973 Suzuki TC100K Blazer, and it is my first motorcycle. I've had this thing well over 20 years, and it actually used to belong to my grandfather. He bought it to ride with my parents when everybody was riding in the woods in the 70s and the 80s in Florida. So this bike is very special to me. Check out me on the bike circa 1988. And we are going to get this thing back together, and I hope one day that my kids will ride on it with me. So that was 20 minutes of me struggling to put the rear fender on. Not super exciting. Between lost bolts and just trying to get everything lined up, there's a lot of pieces that go with this. I got it in and it is tight. So we're gonna move on. Throw the front fender on. Honestly, those parts are safer sitting on the bike than they are sitting on the bench, so I'm gonna go ahead and get them bolted on. And then I think next we're gonna go ahead and tackle the top end, and then we will look at the oil leak that has sprung up, and maybe we'll throw the seat back on. Time do the top end. Now, I've done this a couple of times on a couple of different bikes, but it's always something I take a lot of time with. So what I need to do is I need to get the studs back into the cylinder for the head. I need to get the circlip in one side and the rings in the piston. I need everything lubed up, everything laid out and ready to go. I am going to use a little bit of sealant on that base gasket. It's pretty old, it should be fine. This one seems super fresh and is going to compress nicely. Unfortunately, I don't know that I'm going to be able to come up with any torque specs, so we're going to have to just go with as tight as we can. Unfortunately, the cylinder's got to be tightened with a box wrench. You can't even put a socket on it. So we're going to get that nice and snug and go from there. So let me get this stuff prepped, and I'll show you guys putting it together. Status update. Rings are on, and they're in. Super easy. Compress them with my fingers, no problem. Problem, the wrist pin doesn't fit in this aftermarket piston very well. So, I'm sorry to all of you who know the right way to do this. This is what I've got. I have some 400 grit sandpaper. I am lightly holding it on the wrist pin and just polishing it in the power drill. And I've been doing this for a couple minutes, and now the magic of the sandpaper is with a little bit of twisting, the wrist pin doesn't still go in. So we got to keep going. We're going to make sure that this fits nicely without any slop. I think this aftermarket piston is just a little bit cast weird, or it's old, or I don't know what it is. So we're going to make sure that this fits nicely here. and then it goes in. It would also help if I tried from the correct side. I know I wasn't crazy. See, wrist pin fits great. So we're gonna get this ready. We're gonna get it lined up, some assembly lube, some oil in here, and we'll slam it together. Success. So took a couple tries here. You can see that it is seated in this thing and the ring is good. Unfortunately, I put a little sealant on this upper side of the cylinder here, kind of messed it up. So I'm gonna get a little more on there. We'll slide it down, put the studs in, and keep moving. Everything is in place, and I am tightening these 12 mm nuts here on the cylinder. As you can see, that is pretty snug fit. You can get the closed end of your wrench in here, but just barely. And so I'm working my way in a crisscross pattern. I went here, 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 and I'm just gonna get it started snug. I'll probably do it in 3 steps here. Like I said, you can't get a torque wrench on this, and it's not something I have a torque spec for anyway. So I'm going to just kind of go with what I can feel and make sure that these are all snugged up. Something that you can easily access later and tighten. But as I found out, the base gasket for the cylinder is what failed. And that's what was causing some of my weird running, lean, runaway, idle issues, idle control issues. And so make sure that that is nice and snug. So we're going to tighten these up, and I got super excited and didn't wait. We're going to get our studs back in here for our head. We'll just double nut that and slide those in. Make sure that everything spins freely, put the cylinder head back on, and we will be getting close to having the bike back together. Top end is complete. It's so satisfying to get all those new parts on there. If you're paying attention, you saw me install not 1, but 2 spark plugs. I'm not sure if they knew this thing fouled plugs, which to be honest, it really doesn't, but the head is drilled to hold 2 plugs. So if you foul one or one goes out, you literally just take off your plug wire, move it over there. So I always run 2 plugs in there. There is a blank that goes in the spot if you don't run that, but why would I not? What a cool feature of this bike. So I think we're gonna slam the pipe back on a couple more pieces, and that'll be it for tonight. All right, guys. This is as done as we're gonna get for right now. Tank's not on, a couple of little other boring things to do. Next time you see this bike, we're gonna be out making some 2-stroke smoke. Stay tuned to the Barefoot Garage here on YouTube. You can like and follow our videos right here and leave us a comment if you have a bike like this or a bike that you'd like to learn more about. Maybe we'll get some bikes in the future. Also, you can follow us between episodes at Barefoot Garage Jacks on Instagram. See ya.